ESPACE is a byproduct of LPM, which started about 4.5 years ago. LPM was an idea that Isoken and I were playing with one random day in her house in Ikoyi. And basically it was born out of me. I used to sell vintage clothes at the time, and Isoken obviously had Obsidian, and it was just like, okay, how are we going to push our brands? We don't want to be selling from door to door, from car to car. How are we going to push our brand and make sales, blah, 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 without having to invest heavily in rent, etc. So we just thought, why don't we just do like a Portobello market style, Camden type market, where it's like every month, or obviously Portobello market is like every weekend. We just thought, okay, do it once a month, keep the novelty, keep it exciting, get different people to come together. And our first market was Lagos Toast, which is like a restaurant in TBS, and it was outdoors, it was hot, we were sweating, there were no canopies, and it was, now that I think about it, it was a nightmare, it was horrendous. I don't know how we continued or why even,
To be honest, we continued because of you. After that day, I was like,
are you serious? Oh my God, wow, okay. So I pushed apparently, and the first day was hell. Like we had about 9 vendors, LPM was free, so we had a lot of people just come. Really just our friends and family, and just a lot of other people who we harangued and forced to be there. And they just came and just sat around like feeling really sorry for us, like, oh my God, this is really horrible, this is really bad, I can't believe they did this. But after that, we just thought, okay, next time we'll have canopies, okay. And then we did it the next time, we had about 10 more, we had about 12 or so vendors. And this time we charged, and it was much better. But then we were doing it on Saturdays, so we thought, okay, maybe we should do it on Sundays. And then we started it on Sunday, and then we moved into an indoor venue that was air conditioned, thank God. And and from there, we just pretty much grew from 10 to 15 to 20 to 30, and then to now, we're literally only as big as the venue that we have. After that, we were like, how long are we going to do this for? Just purely from a monetary aspect. Because, I had a job, Isoken was a designer, and it was like, how are we going to grow LPM and take it to the next level? What are we going to do? Like, we can't keep, not that we can't keep doing this because we still do, but we can't keep doing just this. Like, we have to be able to make it bigger, make it more meaningful, and have more of an impact.
From my point of view, I needed to think about how it would help me, what I needed as well, because I wanted to grow as a designer. I wanted to have more distribution. I wanted to have more permanent distribution. You can't tie your cash flow to once a month. So
that's true, because we had a lot of vendors complaining, well, not complaining, but speaking to us and suggesting, well, you guys, like, LPM is really great, but like I find that I completely rely solely on that once a month outing, and then every other time of the month I'm preparing and hoping and waiting that LPM is going to come so I can make some money. Like, is there a way that you can make it more permanent or do it more frequently? And then that's when the idea of ESPACE came, and it was like, why don't we do like a Selfridges type store where we have different designers and everything is shared. So you're sharing rent, you're sharing bills, you're sharing all your overheads and all your costs, and it's minimized. And that's pretty much the story of ESPACE.
LPM was obviously a more casual, I guess, hobbyist directed version of what ESPACE is. Because ESPACE here we have fashion, lifestyle, but we also have a cafe, and we have a beauty bar where we have beauty vendors and services as well. So it's kind of, you can come in, do your hair, do your nails, have a facial, have a drink, have some food, shop, buy some, get ready for a night out, so to speak. So it's a very holistic, all-encompassing kind of concept. We're not trying to be a luxury brand. We're a contemporary brand, we're accessible. We are trying to sort of attract not only a much younger consumer, but a more discerning consumer, because I think everywhere in the world, people are thinking of and looking at luxury very differently. People don't, before, I guess after the recession, there was that sort of, £5,000 bags, all of a sudden it's like £1,500, because people were crazily afraid of not moving their stock. So they slashed prices so far that it became, oh my God, if I can actually buy this on sale, like, why would I buy it at full price? So unless, it's now sort of two dichotomies, people who are looking for real luxury that's sort of handmade and there's a story and they buy it because they believe in it, and people who are just like, look, fashion is for like how I feel today, so I'm not going to spend millions and millions on something that I might not want to wear tomorrow. So they're looking for a more, I guess, a cheaper buy. The Nigerian shopper has definitely changed, I guess, as we know it over the last sort of 4 to 5 years, because I think that initially the sort of Nigerian brand was almost like a
Taboo,
yeah.
so to speak.
People started off always like, what's that? Like when you think of a Nigerian fashion brand, it's just sort of like, yes, my tailor and Ankara and stuff like that. But obviously, things like LPM and ESPACE and other sort of similar-ish concepts, as well as sort of international recognition for bigger brands like the Giola Segos and the JBLs, have kind of forced it into the Nigerian consciousness, so people know, like they identify with certain brands, especially when I think there's a big unexplored diaspora market where people want to identify themselves as African, but not necessarily like wear like an Ankara beret or something. So I think that there's definitely been a change in attitudes towards like how people even shop. Because with something like ESPACE, when we were initially pushing for people to come in every day, because obviously you have to cover the cost of being operational every day. And so people coming in, it's kind of like, okay, you know, I'll try this on. It's like, okay, this is actually nice. And then you come back and then you tell your friends, and it becomes more of a constant thing. So we definitely have like dedicated sort of shoppers, people who come at least once a week, people who come looking for specific brands, whether it's Burgers Lounge, Obsidian, Clan, House of Water, they come looking for something specific or like an accessory. And people come, like it's really big for gifts as well. So people come buying things that they take abroad and be like, oh, you know, this is something that it was made in Nigeria, and people are always shocked. It's like, okay, you know, this level of quality, that type of thing. In terms of creativity, fashion in Nigeria is diverse, it's expanding, and it's, I don't know, interesting, I guess. And then from a sort of business perspective, it's difficult, it's exciting, and it's ultimately like a huge opportunity.